Hey, what's up guys? So I am in my 2001 Lexus ES300. So we just finished doing a radio install. This was probably about a week in the making. This took about a week to install. It took a day to get this Kenwood in. I have a Metra, I can link this dash kit. I have a single din because I felt like a single din looked better than a double din. This is the old radio. This one, we took it out. It's easy. Probably just gonna hold on to this or whatever. Just not gonna be needing that because we got there was no Bluetooth on that one, no aux cord, so that one had to go. Single din looked better in my opinion. Looking OEM. This video is regarding like any model head unit that you get. This is just if you have a similar 98 to I think 01 Lexus ES300. I'm probably gonna, I still have some screws. It's only in by one screw. This is coming out. I was testing it. If you're putting in a radio, there's gonna be some wiring and stuff. If I got a Metra wiring harness, that made it very easy. You just color code it, put the colors together. In this case, in this particular car, there was a black and white ground. That is for the amplifier ground. I grounded it. I don't think that connection leads to anything. I think that's for if you're going to add like an external amp, but I grounded that wire, but it works pretty good. Sorry for the cutoff, but basically, it's basically just color coding once you get the Metra wiring harness together. I will show you guys the inside, exactly how I hooked it up together. But the main reason for this video is I wanted to show you, if you're doing this specific brand or the specific generation of Lexus, the ES300, I believe 98 to 01, you're gonna run into a problem if you're keeping the factory amp. I believe the factory amp is somewhere in there. No matter how well you ground it, how well you hook it up together, there's gonna be an issue. There's gonna be a buzzing noise. So before I installed a ground loop isolator, one for each channel, because there's front speakers and rear door speakers, I had to add a ground loop isolator. Before I did that, there was like this sound. It's basically the alternator whine. If you look up on YouTube, just search alternator whine and buzzing noise, like you'll see what it was. I ended up having to unsplice it. I grounded it to the chassis. It was still making that noise, and then I grounded it back to the wiring harness. I just trusted my instincts. I just went back to that, and then I added the ground loop isolator, and it pretty much worked. Everything was looking OEM. I'll show you guys the inside of what it was pretty much looking like, but all you have to do is just you pop right here, you add your little pry tool. This is gonna come off. These are the notches right there, just so you know, like probably where to stick your pry tool, you know, so you have an idea. And then you're gonna have this thing kind of gave me some issues. That's the mic for the radio. This gave me some issues. This little, let me try to find it. Mine is wood, yours could be black. This was kind of giving you some issues. I didn't even put it back in all the way. You pry it down, and then you kind of just like pull it out straight, because once you pry it out, it's gonna look like this. It's gonna be like out like this a little bit, and it's gonna be stuck. Just give it some pressure, not too much, and just pull it straight out once you pry it out. All right. The tool that you're gonna need is you're gonna need a socket wrench. This has a short extender. This is like a 2-3 inch extender, and then I have another like longer arm somewhere. You're gonna need like a much longer arm to be able to get to the back of these screws over here. They're not in right now. There's one in at the bottom because I just installed it. I just wanted to show you guys. You're gonna remove that screw and then that screw. And these are the screws I used to take, or the arms I used to take it out. This one's for the top, and then this one's for the bottom. Hopefully this is the absolute last time I have to take this freaking radio out, because yeah. So this is the bottom. once you do all your unplugs, I'm guessing you've probably looked up other tutorials on this specific car on how to take it apart or whatever. These are the AC controls. Once you take that out, this is the bottom. It makes it easier. You have a little more space. I'm doing this just to show you guys. These, if you're wondering, like, why aren't they gray, white, purple, green? It's because this is what the thing looks like, the pack SNI Ground Loop Isolator. So how it works is that, let me try and find it at the bottom. I'll post a video on what my harnessing looked like, my wiring looked like, but if you look, I taped them together. There's two. Let me try to zoom in. Here, I kind of taped them together with some, like, whatever tape. There's maybe I'll just use a different tape, but these are for the front channel. It doesn't matter. This is for one channel, this is for the back channel, and then you basically wire the harness. The harness is RCA's, the factory, not the factory harness, the Metro harness that goes into the car. It's gonna have RCA's. You put each channel into the Ground Loop Isolator, and now if you're wondering if you got to the step and did I ground it, no, I did not ground the Ground Loop Isolator. It says that you only need to ground that if you're not getting any sound out of the amp. So if you try it and I guess that it's not working properly, some of your speakers aren't working still, maybe you can then try and ground it. But for my case, I'm pretty much having a stock setup. All I did was change the head unit. I kept the factory amp. I didn't bypass it, so I didn't ground this. And then they go into the back of the head unit. Yeah, this is for the stereo, the larger black wire, black antenna thing. And then this is for what, in my scenario, I jerry-rigged it, and this is for my microphone that is connected to right there. Hopefully this helps if you're having issues. This is if you're having that buzzing noise. But basically this is what it looks like. This is gonna be the setup. Once you put it in, all these wires are gonna be fine. When I put it in, there wasn't any noise. The buzzing went away like 100%. So if you're doing a Lexus ES300 98-01 and you're just replacing the head unit and not gonna bypass the factory amp, you're gonna run into some buzzing noise. And how do you fix that? Ground Loop Isolator. Yeah, and that's basically how you insert it. This is my microphone. I'm probably gonna need to add some tape at the bottom of that, but everything else is looking pretty OEM, man. Put this back in, it fits right back in. Put this trim back in. And now when I pause the music, let me turn that down. You don't hear any freaking buzzing. So I hope this helps. If you have a Lexus ES300 98-01 and you're gonna put in a radio, you're gonna need a pair of Ground Loop Isolators if you plan on retaining the factory amplifier. All right, I hope this helps. See you guys later.